Hey everybody, welcome to the Wise Podcast. My name is Adam McLean. I know it's been a few weeks, and so we're going to catch you up on tips. We've got this from Jonathan McKee. He's going to share with you 5 tips in 5-ish minutes. Enjoy.
All right, you guys, I know you're always looking for stuff. Here's 5 ideas in 5 minutes. Because let's be honest, sometimes it gets to be Wednesday night at 6 o'clock and we have no idea what we're going to do, and you just need an idea. 5 in 5 minutes. First idea is going to be an event idea, okay? It takes no prep other than having vehicles. It's just load everybody up and take them to a graveyard. Go out to a graveyard, go around, look at gravestones. Ask the kids questions. Say, why don't you find who lived the longest, who lived the shortest? Say, whose epitaph is your favorite? And then, after they look around and mingle around for a while, bring them back and ask them, questions about what they saw and have them share. Then ask them questions about their own epitaph. Maybe grab a piece of paper and give it to them with a pen. It takes a little bit of preparation, but have them fold the piece of paper in half. And on the left side say, why don't you write right now, if you were to die today, what you think would be on your epitaph? What would be on your gravestone? What would be your epitaph? On the right side of the paper, what would you want your epitaph to be? Not what would it be, but what would you want it to be? What an awesome discussion, 101 later. Can you imagine? Here's what it is. Here's what you want it to be. How do you get from here to there? So that's a good night for you. Okay, second idea was just another evening that you could have, and why not make it all around cell phones? I mean, after all, every kid's got a cell phone in their pocket. They bring it in. Some people are like, oh, I'm fighting the cell phones. Should we stick them by the door? Why not use the cell phones? Why stop a train? Let's just change the momentum a little bit. Have a cell phone night. Start with a cell phone scavenger hunt. Most cell phones have these little cameras in it, right? Divide into teams, have them go around and give them a list of things to take pictures with their cell phone. Then bring them back, and you can do all kinds of fun cell phone games. Bring 2 kids up and have them each call a different pizza place and order a pizza, and tell the drivers the first one to get their pizza here gets a $20 tip and the second one only gets a $3 tip. Yeah, you have to pay the pizza drivers, but see which one gets there by the end of the night, first. Maybe even have a little cell phone competition where all of a sudden you say, okay kids, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start doing some texting stuff. Here's the first thing I want you to do. First kid to get a text back from their mom, show that to me and run up and show it to me. You could say, first one to text a friend and ask this question and get this answer. Or here's another good one. Throw your phone number up on the board and say, okay, I want the first 10 kids to text me their first and last name and their favorite fast food restaurant. Think about that one for a second. Your phone's just blowing up with names and favorite fast food restaurants. So now you got their names, their phone numbers, and their favorite place to eat. Think about the one-on-one connection opportunities there. Awesome things you can do with a cell phone night. What the heck, even in your message, in the middle of your message, stop. If you're talking about prayer, say, hey, everybody text a friend right now from school and ask the question, why does God sometimes not answer prayers? And I want to hear some of the answers we get. Make it an interactive message. All kinds of possibilities. We'll just call that cell phone night. Okay, here's another night for you. Looking at the stars. Tell everybody to bring a towel or a blanket that they can lay down on the ground. Everybody lay down on the ground. And when you lay down on the ground, you look up at the stars. As you're looking up at the stars, hey, beforehand, spend 5 minutes doing a Google search. Write down a few facts about the stars and the solar system, and then you do a talk while everybody's just sitting there looking up at the stars, and you can talk about how small we are compared to this field that we're laying in, and how small this field is compared to the state, and how small the state is compared to this whole, Earth, and then Earth is only a BB compared to the size of our solar system, and then you can give all the facts and how big light year is, and you could talk about that, and then you can wrap up by saying, this God who made all this loves little you and wants a relationship with you. And you can just wrap it up by talking about how much he cares for us, this little tiny speck in this universe. Looking at the stars night. Hey, another fun idea. Ready? Just a crazy idea. This is something to have in your back pocket. You want to do something fun, you've got some time, and you just say, hey, what the heck? You call up 3 people and say, I want 3 people who have heard of or have seen of or know of a man by the name of Tarzan. That's right. And you just bring them up. Don't give them any chance to prepare. Don't do anything. Just take a microphone and say, all right, on the count of 3, you're going to give me your best Tarzan yell, all right? That's what you do. And then you shove the mic in front of their face, and they'll probably do something like, you know, and they're gonna sound almost that bad. Or maybe they'll even sound a little, you know, better. Maybe they'll even be like, you have no idea. I mean, you never know what they're gonna do. They could even be like, okay, I'm gonna just stop right there. But I mean, it's just incredible stuff that you can hear out of the Tarzan yell. Fun stuff. Get it right out of them, no chance of practice. That is called Tarzan yell. Here's another good one. You're sitting there, you got some time to kill, you have no idea what to do. I just call it the people scavenger hunt. Takes no prep whatsoever. You take whatever crowd you're working with, whether you got 20 kids or whether you got 1,000 kids. I've done it with both. You divide the audience into 3 sections, 4 sections, doesn't matter. And then you grab the front person from each section and you literally say, hey, what's your name? All right, Brian. This right here is Team Brian, and this is your captain. Who's this? Katie. This is Team Katie, and this is your captain. And you introduce your captains, and you say, okay, now we're going to do a scavenger hunt with you guys there in the audience. All right, everybody bring this item up to your captain. The first captain to hand this to me is the winner. Here we go. These 4 sections against each other. The first item I want is I want a student ID card. Come on, here we go. Only captains hand it to me. And there you get the idea. They run up to the captain, hand a student ID card, and the first captain do it goes, boom, Team Brian, already 1-0 Team Brian. And you say, next item I want is an already chewed piece of gum, you know? And you can name all kinds of crazy items. I want a picture of a baby, you know, I want a cell phone, you know, all kinds of different stuff. If you say something like a hair, make sure you say a self-plucked hair, because otherwise you're gonna have, you know, you say a red hair, you're gonna have a bald redhead with, you know, people, yeah, it's just an ugly thing. So think about that. But that's just a people scavenger hunt. It's fun, and there's 5 ideas in maybe even 5 minutes, who knows.
Next up on the show is Kara Powell, and she's going to share this Devo with you. I think you're going to find it very encouraging.
These days, I've got to be honest, I'm wrestling with some pretty fundamental basic questions, like what is the gospel, and what does it look like to live out that gospel on a daily basis? At the Fuller Youth Institute, our mission is to leverage research into resources that elevate leaders, kids, and families. One of our premier studies these days is our College Transition Project, where we're studying 400 youth group seniors, kids like in your youth group and mine, during their first 3 years in college. Now here's what we're realizing. They don't really know what the gospel is. They have adopted more of what Dallas Willard calls the gospel of sin management. And if we can put a mirror up to ourselves for a little bit, probably the reason that our kids in our youth ministries don't really know what the gospel is because we as adults, as youth leaders and parents and mentors and small group leaders, we don't know what the gospel is. So I'm doing some very basic study these days on what does it mean to be a new creation. I love that passage in 2 Corinthians 5:17 where Paul writes that we are new creations. And a lot of days, I don't feel like a new creation. I feel like an oldish creation or a tired creation. So I'm asking myself these days, how would a new creation respond to this stress at work? How would a new creation respond to what's going on with the kids at our church? How would a new creation respond to even the busyness in my own home with my own kids? I'm certainly a long way from having the answers, but I think that question, how would a new creation respond, is one that I want to keep asking and encourage others to ask also.
Thanks for watching the show. I want to invite you to connect with me. You can send me an email at adam@youthspecialties.com, or you can look me up on facebook.com/youthspecialties, or also on Twitter. We want to remind you, just like we do every week, that your ministry matters. We know you don't hear it enough, so we want you to hear from our heart to yours, that everything that you do, whether it's going to football games or homecoming, chaperoning, or all that stuff that nobody seemingly notices, God notices, and He loves you for that. Thanks for what you do. We'll see you next week.